Hello everyone, thank you so much for joining. Cecilia here, and my intention is to inspire you with art, to help you to improve your painting skills and to unlock your creativity. So I continued painting the surface of this piece of furniture that you can see here, and today's video is about the third painting in the series of the 4 seasons or the 4 elements. Like the others, it's a simple and small painting, like 12 by 30 centimeters. A painting of an owl sitting on a branch with a colored background and some leaves falling from the trees. I intentionally created a more atmospheric painting because it represents the season fall and the element air. So yeah, without further ado, let's dive right into it. The brushes you need are a filbert brush for the background, a small round brush roughly the size 5, and a tiny brush like the size 1. We will do 3 layers in total, an underpainting in acrylics and 2 layers in oils. We start with the underpainting in acrylics and define roughly the scenery as well as the colors. I already sketched it a little bit, so you can draw a branch coming from the right side and an owl sitting on top of it. I studied some images of one of my favorite owls for this painting. It's called Barred Owl. For the beginning, we use 3 colors: permanent magenta, cobalt blue, as well as turquoise, and of course black and white. We mix all of the colors with lots of white and a tiny little bit of black in order to desaturate them. We also mix cobalt blue with black to have a nice dark blue. Then we apply all these colors onto the surface. And you don't have to blend them perfectly, we just want to set the basic tone of the painting, and we take care of the blending part afterwards when we use oils. We create a gradient starting with the top left-hand corner using this rose-like color, transition into blue, and for the lower corner we use this dark blue. Then moving towards the middle of the painting, we use this light turquoise and add a little bit of lemon yellow to have this nice greenish color. And moving to the right side, we melt it again with blue. For the very top right hand corner, we use dark blue and a little bit of rose and lemon yellow for the very right side. After that, we paint the branch. You can mix magenta, blue and lemon yellow and you'll get brown. Depending on the color you add most, the brown gets this characteristic. So I go for a more bluish brown because in this way the branch is well integrated in the whole painting. Also, we add a little bit of black to it. We paint only the big branches, not the small ones, because we will go over the background again. And yeah, it's simpler this way, otherwise we have to paint around all these little brush strokes. Afterwards, we paint the owl white and add all of these dark feathers. We paint rounded horizontal strokes within the neck section, an almost heart-shaped form around the face, and vertical strokes outside of it. Also, in the lower part of the body, the strokes are vertical, so we set randomly longer and smaller strokes and fill up this whole area. Of course, the owl needs 2 eyes, which are kind of almond-shaped, and approximately in the middle of the face, and beneath is the beak. That looks pretty good so far. Now we start using oils. First of all, I like to premix all the colors for an optimal workflow. For that we need white, lemon yellow, permanent rose, cobalt blue, phthalo green blue shade, raw umber, black and raw sienna. If you paint a small painting like I do, you don't need much color. We pick white and divide it into 3. To the first one we add permanent rose and a tiny little bit raw umber and black to desaturate it. And then we take a small amount and mix that with lemon yellow to get a warmer tone. To the second one we add cobalt blue and a little bit of black as well. And to the third one we add phthalo blue and a tad black. Also we mix phthalo green with white and a tiny little bit black, and then we mix another shade by grabbing a bit of it and add lemon yellow and more white to it. The last color of the background is this dark blue, and for that we mix cobalt blue with black and a tiny little bit of white. So yeah, that looks good. Now we can start painting the background. We apply the colors like before, but refine the gradient. But I mean, with oils that happens pretty much naturally because it's so easy to blend with them. We now focus on painting an opaque layer and creating a smooth transition between all the colors. We start with this rose color, blend it with blue to the right side, and the more downwards we go with the dark blue, and then moving to the right side we add the bluish and greenish turquoise, some light green spots in this area, and on the right side we use this rose color again. Hope that was clear, but basically here you can just focus on blending by using one color after another. Let me know if you want to learn more about how to blend exactly with oils, and we can go more into depth. After that we mix raw umber with black for a dark brown and raw umber with black, white and a little bit of raw sienna for a light brown. We paint the branches considering the overall shadow and light parts, not the details yet. So the lower part is darker, therefore we use the dark brown, and the upper part is brighter. Again, we only paint the thick branches, not the small ones yet, because we will do a second layer of the background. Then we mix white with a tiny little bit of raw sienna and raw umber and paint the entire owl, but not a too thick layer. In this way we can still see the dark feathers beneath. Obviously we want to know where to place them, right? And then we use this light brown we mixed before and paint all the strokes. I let this dry for 1 or 2 days and then continue with the second layer. You can just cover up the paints and then use them again. It is pretty much dry to touch, so let's do the second layer in oils, which is all about details. We will paint the background as we did before with the same colors, but we add a little bit of this warm orange to the rose color in the upper left corner and create in general a more detailed, well-blended background. We also add some more green spots in the middle and some slightly darker blue ones in between. Then we paint the small branches. I use the round brush and make it flat, but you can also use a tiny brush. And we just paint really thin lines here and there and branch them out. Now we will paint the owl very detailed. The light is coming from the left side. That's why we paint the left side brighter than the right side. We start with white and paint white feathers at the left side, like the whole left side, and also always at the left side next to a dark feather. The face we paint white as well, and now we basically want to blend all the white and dark feathers. So we pick the dark brown and paint the heart-shaped form, and we slightly blend the edges, not too much, but we want to have smooth edges. And then with a very light brown we paint some spots in the face and little strokes across the rest of the head and blend it again with the bright color. So for the left side we use pure white, and for the right side we use white mixed with a little bit raw umber so that it's slightly darker. And then we go over the neck and we paint with the dark brown all the feathers and on top of them the other ones with white. And just focus on creating a smooth transition but still keeping single feathers well emphasized. And we do the same for the lower half of the owl. As I previously said, we paint the left side next to the dark feathers with pure white, the dark feathers with dark brown, and the right side with this slightly darker white. And we blend all of these colors a little bit in order to have smooth edges. But at the same time, we want to have some feathers more highlighted than others. The next step is about painting a detailed bark. And really, this is easier than you might think it is. We picked a lighter brown and paint some irregular strokes all in the upper half of the branch. And these strokes get darker the more downwards we go. And the very bottom line of the branch is just dark. Then we pick a tiny brush and grab a lighter brown than before. And we paint little spots here and there to bring out even more details. And then when you want, you can use a really light brown and paint some single strokes in the upper half to finish it up. And we do the same approach for every thick branch, also the ones at the very right side, but there we create a gradient from left to right, so the left side is brighter than the right side. At the left side, in the lower half, we paint a spiral with this bright blue. This should represent the wind, and then we will paint some leaves on top of it to really underline that they are carried by the wind. Finally, we paint a bunch of leaves all across the painting, and we use the same colors that we used for the background and place them wherever they fit in. Some of them are still hanging on the tree branches and others are flying around. You can also paint veins for some leaves in case you want to add even more details. Maybe I will do that as well. So yeah, that's it for today. I really hope this tutorial was helpful to you. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it, and also let me know in the comments below if you still have some questions or if I should go more in depth about individual points. I love to hear from you. Thank you so much for joining. I wish you a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next video.